Hello, my name is Dino, and together with Thomas, we're Team 3 on the second semester ATCM class. I'll be guiding you through our presentation in industry and technology, where I'll talk about sustainability as a whole, our solution to a sustainable construction, and our solution to the case with Kurt's company. Before we continue, we feel like it's important to understand what exactly sustainability is. Sustainability isn't just about nature and our environment. Sustainability is the combination of three parts: the social, environmental, and economic sustainability. When they're all balanced together, it's what we call actual sustainability. We can't call something sustainable if it works economically and socially, but environmentally it is lacking. Currently, we're facing a problem which can seem out of scope. We've emitted too many CO2 gases and it's already starting to show on the planet. Most notably is the ice melting, resulting in sea levels rising. There's also been a huge debate about the decline of bees, who are a huge part of our ecosystem. So every day there seems to be a new problem caused by global warming. So what can we do about what seems like a huge unsolvable problem? Well, in our case, we can meet the problem head on by starting to build more sustainably. In our construction, we've decided to work with hempcrete. Hempcrete, also known as hemp lime, is a biocomposite material and a natural alternative to concrete and traditional insulation. It is a mixture of hemp hurds and lime, but may also include natural hydraulic lime, pozzolans, or sand. When the hurd of the hemp plant, which is the woody core found inside of the stalk of the plant, is combined with lime and water, it forms hempcrete. Hemp possesses a high silica content that helps it bind well with lime. It becomes a lightweight cementitious insulation material which weighs 1/8 to that of concrete. Some pros about hempcrete is that it has a great insulation property and a good thermal mass. It's recyclable, it's vermin-proof, it's a breathable material, it's soundproof with a high acoustic insulation. The carbon storage is excellent. It's fireproof and it's vapor permeable, which means that it creates a healthy indoor climate. If speaking purely from an economical standpoint, hempcrete is a bit harder to put up against competitors such as rock wool, paper wool, wood fiber insulation, and so on. With a considerably more expensive insulation cost, hempcrete is approximately 812 Danish crowns per square meter, where competing insulation materials are as cheap as 100 crowns per square meter. While this, of course, means that the client has to pay a bit more when it comes to the cost of the insulation, it doesn't have a significant impact of the total cost of the house. As you can see here, we have a model of what our house would look like. It is comprised of renewable and biodegradable materials, mainly wood and hemp. How the building is constructed is from the outside in. It is wood cladding being held on with wooden battens. We have a wind barrier, then we have the CLT, which is the cross-laminated timber. We have a vapor barrier, hempcrete, which acts as an insulation, and then we have hemp lime, which is hemp lime plaster, which is our rendering. The U value is 0.55, which I'll talk a bit more about in one of the next slides. Our house will be under fire class B. Hempcrete is completely fire resistant, meaning that our buildings with hempcrete can prevent our house from catching fire. Our data regarding hempcrete has been provided by the manufacturer UK Hempcrete, and we have chosen to work with 300mm thick insulation blocks. In this data table, we can find information which is useful to us about the product at hand, such as thermal transmission and thermal grading. The reason why we calculate the U value is to find out just how much energy leaves the house through different parts of the construction. We would like to use the minimum amount of energy to keep our house warm. Therefore, the closer we get to zero in our U value, the more energy is kept inside the building. As shown, the U value of an exterior wall in our construction lies at 0.55. This makes it very effective as we want to get as close to zero as possible. In our project, we decided to mainly focus on the two UN goals, which are 12 and 13. 12 being responsible consumption and production. In our construction, we're using hempcrete. By working with hempcrete, we won't have to be as careful with the material scraps because the scraps from hempcrete are biodegradable and won't harm the soil or environment if left out or scattered on the site. Wood is also our primary material. which is biodegradable also and does not leave any scraps which are dangerous for the environment or people. We're also using electrical vehicles and solar cells on our building site, which would be classified as responsible consumption of renewable energy. And under 13, which is climate action, we have that hempcrete is a less than zero emission material, which means that it stores more carbon dioxide than it produces when it's finished being produced. By hempcrete being made up of primarily hemp, it will create a negative carbon imprint by storing CO2 in the plant growing phase. The reason behind the holistic building certificate is to promote the use of renewable materials, a more sustainable building site, and more efficient data and document management. In our project, we have received a 75% in the holistic building certificate, which means we've qualified for a gold certificate. Other sustainable solutions that we've used have been that we've opted to go with materials that do not require any chemicals. For example, that we don't use anything with formaldehyde. Uh, we have recycled water on the building sites. We are using electrical vehicles on the building site and also using portable solar cells. We are aiming to construct our buildings in a way that makes it easier for disassembly later on in the future. And we are using BIM as a way to keep track of projects, documents, planning, and so on. Here you can see our BIM lifecycle model. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. BIM helps us with sustainability by efficientizing our work process. It saves us time in the design and construction phase, which in turn saves us money. Some different examples is that BIM helps us with scheduling, estimate and accounting, price and product database, which is Sigma in our case, estimates, requirements, and functional requests, which could be statics, architecture and engineering, drawings and calculations, 3D models and visualization, which could be Revit and Enscape in our case, regulations and specifications, the BR18 and description of services, for example, and then also logistic and industry. BIM helps us keep track of all these different parts and more. This makes it incredibly efficient when it comes to handling information, which is crucial for our project. Here we show how we foresee Kuot's future placement on the market, having a square meter price of approximately 14,210 Danish crowns. Compared to Idehuset, we expect Kuot to sell less houses than the competitor, but for a higher price. This is mainly due to the use and focus on sustainability. We believe by Kuot Byg AS focusing on building more sustainably that they will in the near future be higher up on the market. There is a clear future in housing construction where sustainability is the primary focus. This may be a bit more expensive for our customers at the moment, but as we stray further from traditional materials, we believe that sustainable materials will be the norm. As for estimates, we expect that the company will have a slow but exponential growth during the recovery process of the business. We expect a slow start with a turnover, which allows us to also increase payment exponentially on the loan over time, hand in hand with profit growth.